was good, man. I was working on my breaking ball. It was pretty good. To sim him down and change it was pretty nice. So a lot of ground balls today. So that's what we need.
Were you throwing the breaking ball more than you usually do?
Yes, yes. I feel great with that pitch, and you know, I think it's another weapon that I have in my stuff. So I just need to continue to throw in and get people out.
How often did you throw a cutter today?
Not too much, because everybody know that I throw a cutter, and I was looking for that pitch in. I just focused a little bit more on my changeup down and away to seam and breaking ball.
Yeah. Was that about as what Woody was saying yesterday, that he thought that maybe you were a little bit behind because you came in late and everything. Do you feel like you were maybe jumped that a little bit and now you're kind of back on schedule?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'm ready for compete. So when they give me the ball to throw my game, I'll be available to pitch.
Nice play on that bunt.
Oh yeah, that's what I got. I can do more, but it was fun. When I was available to catch the ball and throw, trying to throw far fall to fair, but was good out.
Does it give you a little bit more confidence? The White Sox lineup is basically their opening day guys. So to go out there and do what you're able to do 30 innings.
Yeah, I mean, with those kind of lineup, you don't have to do much. You just gotta trust your staff and throw the pitch where you want it. And especially they like to hit a homer, so you have to keep the ball down, work more on your two seam and change up, and you're gonna get good results.
What do you think of Marcus Simeon's defense?
Good. I mean, amazing. He's a good guy, a good second baseman, and he's gonna do a lot for us this year.
Except for you and John Gray, there's not a lot of experience in the rotation this year. Do you feel like that puts a little extra burden on you to try?
Nah, not really, because I like to help the guys, and anything that I can say to them and they can learn from, you just have to move on and pitch our game and get ready for the next one, and let's see how the season goes.
The Rangers have talked a lot about they feel like you've matured a lot since you were here last time. What do you think they mean by that?
I mean, being Rexos and Minnesota was, really good experience for me, and I was, I like to ask a lot of questions to all guys, and I think it's time for me to teach my teammates what I learned from my older teammates. So it's gonna be a fun season, man, and we have a good team and good pitchers, and we're just gonna go out there and compete.
Probably one more start this spring before the
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Any idea how deep you're going to get in your first?
I don't know yet. Like I say, I will be ready for do my job when they give me the ball. I'm just gonna go out there and compete.
Does this short spring affect you at all?
I think for me that's the best spring that I've been. Best spring training. Yeah. I think 6 weeks is too much for us.
You're not alone.
The lockout helped us a lot. So.
Why do you think Why do you think that's better? 6 weeks.
I think it's too many days, man. 4 weeks, I think it's enough, and you can have more time with your family, and you can, you prepare a little bit more for the season and for spring training too.
How many pitches did you throw today?
I don't know yet, but the only thing that I can say is that I throw a lot of strikes, so that made me happy today.
Yeah.
Heading into this season, what is the main aspect of your game that you're focusing on?
So I just need to stay healthy. That's my focus. When you're healthy, you can do whatever you want to do. You can go out there and compete every 5 days. So that's the thing that I'm looking forward this year. Stay healthy and go out there and do my job.
Everyone keeps saying this team is so much fun, this team is different. What is the main difference in this team going into this season?
I think the communication that we have right now between players and coaches is what made us good team and funny days. So everything is about enjoy it. I know it's baseball, you got to be focused, but at the same time you have to enjoy your job, and that's what we're doing here. Yeah.
Does that mean Culberson's made the team?
I can't say it officially, but there's no other infielder left.
Okay.
So, and listen, we do have other options. With Miller, with Solak, we have infield options that will likely be on the team. So it's not 100%, but we just think with Colby's experience, how he hits left-handed pitching, his versatility. It's obviously the clubhouse guy, the makeup. It's a really good fit for us.
Just wondering, as far as catching position, if you've seen either one make a longer stride than the other between him and Trevino?
I still probably, I'm not going to tell you yet. It's a good competition. I liked what I saw at Hosey the other day, obviously with the bat. He swung the bat pretty well, hit the ball hard. Both guys have made strides, on the catching side. There's a lot that we demand out of our catchers, and I think Jonah's made some really good strides in a lot of ways. On the catching side, I feel like there's still another level to that. But I think both guys came in with knowing that the competition was going to be pretty fierce. At the second we traded for Garver, but they were both all in on that. They didn't shy away from it. They embraced it, and it's like I said before, it's going to be tough to have to send one of them, with us and one of them not with us. I don't foresee us carrying 3 catchers, so it's going to be a tough conversation for sure. But both guys are getting after it.
Are you targeting either Dunning or Hearn to start the home opener against the Rockies?
No, because I think it's a little bit of a unique situation this year with spring training being shortened. I think it's obviously John Gray's at the top, but I think the way they fall in line after that, somewhat strategic, but I think it's more on how they came into camp, who was ready. You look at Martin Perez was a little bit behind. It took him a few days to get here. He had a little later start than the rest of the guys. So it may be strategic in the 2-3, and I don't know how that lines up to 4-5. So it's we're still kind of obviously working through that.
Did the injuries that Garver had in Minnesota the last few years give you any pause about how much he should be, how many games should he be catching a year, and any concerns about long-term in the position?
Yeah, it's definitely a position that we've had a lot of discussion internally on, and I plan to have with Garv to make sure that we keep him healthy. It's it always scares me when a catcher, they get beat up back there, and if there's been any kind of injury history, you obviously want to protect that, and it's going to be really, really hard for me certain days to not put him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Even not DH, because where it's it may not be catching that day, but you're still wear and tear. He gets on base a ton. Obviously he swings hard. It's just saying, okay, we're going to DH him for the day game. I can't do that every time. I have to put this guy on the bench, and it's going to absolutely kill me to do it, just because of what he brings, not only in the batter's box behind the plate, but just the leadership and who he is as a teammate and as a competitor. But I'm going to have to do that though, to keep him healthy.
You got a number in your head about how many games he catch?
If you look at like 2 out of 3 would get him around 100 and something, but I maybe less than that, to be honest with you, catching wise. It may be somewhere from 90 to 100, and that's not including DH.
Yeah.
So if I can DH him or even get him at first base, if there's an extended period of time where he's not 100% healthy, just keeping him at DH or making sure his bat's in the lineup while he has to fight through something.
Yeah.
But he's definitely one that I look at as being a priority to keep on the field.
Does he? Have you had a conversation with him about that yet? And do you feel like he might resist that a little bit?
I hope he resists it. You know what I mean? Like, listen, we've had conversation, but I don't know if I'm giving him an exact number, which is hard to do. It's hard to give an exact number because you just don't know.
Right.
If he goes on the IL for 15 days or whatever, that obviously makes that number a little lower. Or sometimes you get caught up in, hey man, we're winning, he's killing it. 2 out of 3 for the next 2 weeks. At least. All of a sudden that number starts creeping up higher, and you start projecting. I'm like, oh boy, he's projected to catch 110. It's like that wasn't the number we're looking at. So I think we just need to be disciplined with him. But I hope he wants to. I'd assume he would be obviously respectful of the decision, but at the same time wanting to play.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to be that. If they're, we have corner guys that may be in platoon situations. I don't ever want a guy to be like, hey, I'll just do whatever. I want them to be hungry to play. I want all those guys to want the everyday at bats. Now, obviously, knowing they have a specific role in the team is important, and being respectful. But I expect Garb to give a little bit of pushback, but not disrespectful.
How was Martin? Is he right on time as far as preparing for the season?
No, I'd say he's a little bit behind. Not behind, meaning like he's not going to be ready for opening day. I think he's going to be fine. But I just think he came into camp just a little bit, one less than the rest of the group basically. But he looks great. He feels great. The only thing that it may affect is just his pitch count.
Sure.
But Doug told me the other day he should be, similar to what the other guys are, just maybe a tick below. But he looks good. he feels good and he's healthy right now.
With the start of spring training starting abruptly, do you feel like with a little bit more time, the actual duration for this spring from beginning to end is enough time for everybody to get ready, or do you feel like the old version of duration is?
This is going to be a good question later on. I'll let you know in a month into the season if it felt like it was enough time. But I think if you ask around the league, I think the hitters will tell you it was fine. I think the pitchers might be like, I feel a little rushed. And like I said, you won't know that until somebody's getting his butt kicked after the first month, and he's like, using that as maybe a little bit of an excuse. But our guys, they know. They knew coming in it was going to be quick. They're going to have to ramp up. I felt bad for the guys we had to send out because I felt like it was a little bit unfair. Listen, spring training, typically if you're a reliever, you're a one-inning guy, you're going to get 4, 5, 6, 7 outings, something like that. Right here, it's like 2 or 3, and you're sent down. You're still feeling through some things, but that's part of knowing the situation that you're coming into. So that's why it was so important that these guys, without our help in doing it, had to be prepared. Hey, I got to hit the ground running. My first outing in spring training matters. And that's a little bit different than in the past where it was like, hey, just make sure you feel your arm's still attached and make sure it's coming out good, and we'll figure out the rest. We can kind of go through spring training as we go, but like this year it was like you had to have a good outing from day one. And it's a lot of pressure, but hey, we want to win a championship, man. There's pressure in that. So they knew it was coming.
Since you've been here, have you guys done that award ceremony, bringing everyone together? And
No.
Why did you do that, and what do you want the takeaways?
That
for
was,
Syndicate?
CY obviously was pretty passionate about that. I love to celebrate, things that we do well. I talk about it with our team all the time. We're going to celebrate every win. However we do that is, we'll figure out how we do it. But when we got, awards, guys that had good years, the 2 True Ranger awards were really, those were probably the 2 biggest ones for me because they represent our values, right? It should mean something to those guys. Winning championships, when it was pretty apparent when CY said, hey, if you won a World Series, raise your hand. There wasn't too many hands raised. So it just shows you, hey, we got some work to do. We got some work to do in this organization. We want to win a championship, and that starts with those A-ball kids. They should have the same pride in winning that we have. And, when next year we come around and when he says, hey, if you won a championship last year, raise your hand, hopefully there's a lot of hands raised. Hopefully a lot of our guys are raising their hands. And obviously ideal throughout the organization, but that's the pride of being a Texas Ranger. And I think, I know we take a lot of pride in the organization. We're really proud to be here. We want our players to feel that same pride. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see like true pride. And, I'm not going to call it the Ranger way or anything cheesy like that, but it's like you should be proud to put that uniform on. And CY obviously did a hell of a job in relaying that message today.
Yeah, pretty good production by you.
Yeah, it was really, really well said. True, it's authentic. Like, we're not being cheesy when CY or I stand in front of a podium and say that. We mean it. We want everybody else to believe that. Be pretty powerful. All right.
Thanks, Woody.